The demand lens is a tool that's used to check for demand between particular airports, or simply demand leaving from one airport or arriving at a different airport. You can access it in the operations cockpit, either using the number 4 once you're in there, or by pressing on the demand lens itself. Within this tool, I can search for any demand to anywhere I want. In this case, let's choose all demand leaving from Manchester. We can see that there's a substantial amount of demand. We can also see that we have demand wanting to go to Atlanta. This is demand that has been delivered by someone else to Manchester, in this case by the company GAT, from Frankfurt to Manchester for onward transport to Atlanta. Because there is so much demand, I'm going to filter this. I'm going to filter all demand so that I can only see demand going to France. I do this by adding an arrival country, selecting France, and applying. This is now all of the demand in France. I'm interested in taking this demand because it is both collaborative and well-paying. I can either select it by clicking inside the map, or by finding it in the list. I will click it in the map and I can see there's 4 passengers business class in Mary Rivera's group. To add them, I can either add one by one, like that, or, because I want to take this demand as well, I can also press up here and I can either add filtered or add all. I'm going to add filtered. I now have 2 sets of demand heading down to that direction. But I'm also going to take some other demand, in this case to LFPG. I will add Lucas and go back. Now that the demand has been selected, the next thing is to route it. With the routing, I can either leave it like this. This would mean that from Manchester I had to do 3 separate flights, one down here, one to here, and one to here. Alternatively, I can route them. There are multiple ways to route, either by dragging, like so, or by using options up here. Route or veer beginning and route or veer end. In this case, I'm going to route or veer beginning, and I'm going to choose LFPG. This will now mean I have one flight heading from Manchester to Paris, and then from Paris I have 2 flights outwards. But I don't want that either, so I'm going to drag this, I'm going to drag him down to here, so that I now have a chain. Now that I have my finished route, I can go to the jobs, and in here I have options. I'm definitely going to fly this job. I now have a bar showing how many passengers. So as the first leg from Manchester to Paris is going to have all 13 passengers on, I can only take 20 passengers maximum. I'm still in the green area. This will become orange as you get to 80% and red when you can no longer take any more passengers. The limit for charters is 20 passengers. The second job, I can either add this on top, meaning a stopover with 2 legs, or alternatively I can delete the job, which puts it back over here. So now I put this job in. I will then do this job as a second separate leg, and this third one I'm not going to fly it myself. This means that I can now go to collaboration, and a pop-up appears asking me if I'm sure that I want to do this. If I click configure collaboration, I now have a choice. These 6 passengers that were left at the end that I didn't set my own jobs for, I can either release them to the public so that the public can deliver them, or I can set them as internal, meaning only people within my company or my partnership can actually see those passengers and deliver them. I will leave it as internal and then release. The release pop-up appears, press release, and I can now go to my dispatch plan and I can see the jobs. I can see I have the one leg from EGCC to LFPG. The second leg is a second job from LFPG to LFBF. And then the last leg is not appearing because it's currently not in my charter system because I released it to internal demand. That's the basics of the charter system. It gives you the freedom to fly wherever you want, delivering passengers along your way, picking more passengers up along the way, as long as you stay within the 20 passenger limit for each charter leg. If you decide you don't want to do this job anymore, then you can delete it. You can either delete or unrelease. If you unrelease, it will go back into the demand lens for you to continue editing. If you delete, it will delete it. Please note though, if you fly one leg in a charter dispatch plan, you can no longer delete it, you have to complete it. So if I was to fly this first leg, I would no longer be able to delete the plan or edit it because it's already been started.